welcome back to a brand new speed build. Today I have a suburban family home for you guys, and I'm so excited to share this because there's actually a lot of different reasons. Number one, I am absolutely in love with this house. It's one of my favorite Suburbans that I've done. I also feel like it's been a while since I posted a Suburban. I was gonna say that, but actually it hasn't. It hasn't been a while. But for me, it feels like it has been a while because it was a few months ago. But I don't know. I love my Suburbans, as we all know. So I'm just happy to be posting one again. But then also because the family for this house I actually have somewhat of an idea for, and that is thanks to my boyfriend. So I will be talking about that as well. But yeah, so I wanted to sit down. I built this in January, I think, and I wanted to sit down and just build a regular schmegular Suburban. I don't know. I don't build them that often anymore because I tend to work on my save file, and for my save file I have most of the Suburbans done. Again, because for a while it was the only thing I built. Now I feel like I branched out and I built a few different things, but yeah, I've just mostly been building other things, I guess. So sometimes I just want to sit down, build a Suburban, and just, do whatever I want. So yeah, this is kind of what I did for this one. So I built the shell for this house and I made the floor plan and stuff like that. And then I realized that because I've built so many Suburbans in my life, it is very hard for me to come up with kind of new idea for a family, or do something that I haven't done before, because we all know that I'm not maybe the most creative when it comes to families and stuff like that. So I asked my boyfriend for help because he watches my videos and I am always talking to him. So I was talking to him while I was building this and I was like, hey, can you give me an idea for the family that should live here? And he was like, yeah, sure. What are they? How many bedrooms are they? What are you thinking? So what ended up happening is that this house is for 2 parents, 2 kids, and a toddler, and I had so much fun with it. So it's not an in-depth storyline or anything like that, but the parents do have things that they like, and I had a lot of fun putting small details throughout the house for it. So obviously, if you want to download this house, you don't have to play with this family that I'm thinking of. Obviously you don't worry. This is just or well, I guess that my boyfriend thought of, I didn't think of it, but this is just an idea, and honestly for me to have more fun when I'm building this. So the idea is that, again, it's for 2 parents, 2 kids, and a toddler, and I believe they also had a cat and a dog. I believe so, if I'm remembering correctly. I think that was the case. But anyways, so the first parent is really into science and rockets and stuff like that. So they're probably a scientist at I think it's just called the laboratory or whatever it's called. I don't actually remember. If you have get to work, you know what I mean. Obviously you can be a scientist there. So they're probably a scientist, or maybe can you be an astronaut? That's a thing, right? But I was thinking that this parent, or at least from when I was talking to my boyfriend, we were thinking that this parent is a scientist, but maybe they specialize in space things, if that makes sense. So I tried to kind of make reference to that throughout the build. I put some magazines and stuff like that in the backyard and throughout the house, and I put a swatch where it looks like there's a space book that's or space magazine, I guess, that isn't on the top. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with that because I feel I don't build a lot of houses thinking that one of the parents are a scientist. I don't know. I tend, to be fair, most of the time I don't have any idea, but when I do have an idea, they're almost never a scientist. So that was a lot of fun. And this parent is also really into I don't know, fitness and working out, and they're really active. So the garage, and so actually being a garage, I know it's revolutionary, but it ends up being a garage, and in there I put some gym equipment and stuff like that, and I tried to make reference in that way. And then the second parent is an artist and loves gardening and stuff like that. So this house has, for me at least, but I think beautiful landscaping. And I was thinking that this parent, the second one, is really just, again, not I was thinking, if I'm saying I was thinking, I'm thinking of from what my boyfriend said. So it was my boyfriend's idea, and then I kind of built off of it, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But yeah, no, so I was thinking that the second parent, maybe they make sure that all the landscaping in this house is beautiful at all times. They have some planter boxes both in the front yard and in the backyard. And yeah, they just love gardening and just chilling. And I was thinking that they're probably really down to earth since they're also like an artist. And the sunroom that is kind of at the back, that ends up being kind of like an office area, and in there I do put like an art easel and a bunch of other like art things, so that's maybe like their studio, which I was thinking is probably a good thing because you will get a lot of natural light from like that being kind of like a sunroom. You get just a lot of natural light, which is great when you're painting. And you can probably take some good like reference photos, because obviously you can paint from a reference in this game, so maybe you can take some beautiful photos of like the backyard or something like that through the window. There we go. So yeah, those are two other parents, and then the first kid that you will see me do the bedroom. I'm saying the first kid, I don't know which one is older, which one is younger. I'm pretty sure actually the second kid is supposed to be the older one from what my boyfriend told me, but either way, the first kid is like the first bedroom I do, if that makes sense. I'm going to call it the first kid. That makes sense, I promise. But the first kid is really into space, and I had so much fun with their room. Like, it was so much fun, and I will talk a little bit more like in detail about the rooms, but yeah, I had so much fun. I forgot how much I love making space rooms. There was a point in time where I did a lot of different space rooms, and then I thought I was doing it too much. I kind of took a break, but we have gotten so many new like space kind of objects, so I had so much fun with their room, and I think it's my favorite room in the entire house. And I took some beautiful screenshots of it, and I love it. Again, I will talk a little bit more in detail about it in a bit. Before I move on and talk more about the family, I just want to apologize for my voice. I feel like it's a little bit like raspy. I don't know. Basically, I haven't spoken to anyone today. I've been up for maybe like an hour and I have not spoken to anyone. So this is kind of like my morning voice. And then also, I think I'm not ill, but like it's allergy season, so I just feel ill, if that makes sense. And obviously I'm very congested and my throat is not having a great time, so that's why if I sound a little bit weird, that's why, and I'm so sorry. Hopefully it's not too distracting for you guys, but I'm sorry. But anyways, moving on and talking more about the other family members. So the second kid, which I think, again, from what my boyfriend told me, is supposed to be the older kid, they're really into sports. And what thought was really fun is that like the first kid is into space, and one parent, again, they're kind of like a space scientist, so they probably bond a lot about that. And then that same parent is also obviously into sports. So the second kid is also bonding with that parent, but the second kid is not just into sports. Their room is very sports focused, but they're also into art, so that way they kind of bonded with the second parent. And I don't know, I think it's so cute, because like I feel like a lot of people take interest in what their parents are interested in. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Like I don't know actually if I've talked about this before on the channel, but I am a perfect mix for my family. Like my mom is a very artistic person. She's very creative, and she is an artist, and she's an amazing artist. And I am not as good as her at all, but I do like drawing, and I am creative in a lot of different ways. And then my dad is more like computery, and like I don't know, he's just more like, he's kind of like a computer nerd, not in the sense of like he builds computers, but like in a sense of, I don't know, his job has to do with computers. I don't know how to explain it, but like again, he doesn't build computers in that way. He's just a nerd with a bunch of stuff. And then both my parents play a lot of games, which I've talked about before. Both my parents are gamers, and that's kind of how I got my gaming. So for me, it's very realistic that like the kids take after their parents, because that's what I did, and that's also what my brother did. And I feel like that's kind of common, so I really like that like the kids from this family, they kind of take inspiration from the parents. Obviously who knows what they're going to be like when they grow up, because they're still kids, but that was really cute. And then the toddler, which is the last family member, my boyfriend did not have any ideas. He was like, I don't know really, because it's a toddler, which is very fair because toddlers are very weird to do things for, but Yeah, I kind of just did whatever I wanted, and I really wanted to make like a little dino room. So the toddler is really into dinosaurs, and it ends up being very like orange in there and like dino focused, and I love it. But I will be talking more about their like individual rooms in a little bit. But before that, I want to talk about the exterior because you are currently watching me do that. So I've already kind of finished the majority of the exterior, not like decorating wise, but like the house and its shape and stuff like that, and all the windows are in place, and everything like that are in place. I'm currently just going in and decorating the front yard. But so I wanted to actually talk because okay, so I've gotten a lot of comments recently because there's been a lot of new people coming to my channel, and I've gotten a lot of new comments being like, hey, I love your videos, but like, can you talk a little bit more about the build? So I'm gonna start making the effort to do that, but like I'm still gonna start rambling because that's again my whole thing. I talked about this in my last video, but like rambling is still my whole thing. I'm never gonna stop rambling. But what I can do is try to talk a little bit more about the build. So it might be like a 50-50. So yeah, so for the exterior, I did struggle a little bit with like the color scheme for the exterior. The house itself, like the structure of it, came together really quickly. Because I had a vision in mind, so I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but the like color scheme for the exterior took me a little bit, but in the end I settled on this base game, what's it called, paneling, that in like a brown swatch, which I was gonna say I feel like I've never do brown houses, but I've done two from what I remember, and one of them was a base game house that I posted like a month or two ago. So I guess I do them now, but when I was building this, I was like, I never do brown houses. So yeah, I really like it though. Like I think it looks good, especially paired with this brick from the Life and Death expansion pack. Weirdly, if you don't have the Life and Death expansion pack, you can definitely just replace it with any other brick from the game, but I really like this brick. I don't know why, like what makes it different, but I really like it, and I feel like it looks, I don't know, a little bit more like modern-ish than some other bricks. Like it's not modern, but like it's more like, I don't know, updated brick, if that makes any sense. I don't know. But then in the front of the house, there ends up being a little driveway, which I put a debug car. We don't actually have cars in the game. I do get this question sometimes, but we don't actually have cars in the game. It's from the debug menu. It's like cars that you will see throughout the world, but like it's not actually drivable, which I don't think we're ever gonna get actual cars in the game, but I can hope. I can dream. But I put that car is actually from what's it called? The Cottage Living expansion pack. Really weird, but I really like it. It looks kind of like a Jeep, I think. I don't know. I'm not great with cars, but from what I remember, I think it's kind of like a Jeep. And then on top of the garage door itself, I put a basketball hoop, which I don't actually think that is functional, sadly. It probably could make it functional, but it's not functional in this game, in this build, at least from what I remember. But I just kind of put that there as like a nod again to one of the kids being really into sports, and then also the like one of the parents being into like sports and stuff like that as well. I don't know if they're into basketball, but I was thinking that the kid is definitely into it because you will see some nods to that in their bedroom. But yeah, and then also I put a swing in the front yard because I don't know why, I've just been loving putting swings in the front yards recently instead of the backyards. It just looks so cozy and homey and just cute, and I don't know, but I love it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. The swing I use for this build is one that we got with the Growing Together expansion pack, but it was one of those things like if you bought the Growing Together expansion pack, that's a lot to say, but if you bought that expansion pack like within a certain amount of days within the pack releasing or whatever, you got that item. So if you don't have it, you can definitely just replace it with any other swing from the game. We have a bunch of them now. But I was debating on using that one because I was like, probably a lot of people doesn't have it, but like I just really liked how it looked because it has some like stickers on it and it has some flowers, and I really liked it. So for this, like when you're seeing it being built, I put that there. But again, if you don't have it, you can replace it with a swing from literally any other pack. We have quite a few from different ones. Like if you have seasons, there's a swing there. And so yeah, you can just replace it, but I really like that like being there. And then also by the swing, I put this little like frog, like fountain thingy. It's like a frog that's like spitting out water through its mouth, which I never use that frog because it has some really weird swatches, but it's so cute and it felt so like family oriented to me. And I don't know if that is just me, but I think it looks really cute. And that one is from the Backyard Stuff pack, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Also, I've started to, if you haven't noticed, I've started to say where things are from because I feel like that might be easier for you guys to like realize where some of the things I'm using are from. If you have any questions of where anything is from, either ask me or you can probably see while I'm building. Like you can just look at the icon and you'll find out what that item is from. But if not, just ask me and I will let you know. But then in the backyard, there ends up being kind of like two sections ish, and it's kind of divided by this arch from the Horseradish expansion pack, which I think is supposed to be like a wedding arch, but I just use it as a regular arch. And in the build I'm currently working on, like off camera, I use that as an arch as well because I just think it looks good. And like your Sims will use it as an arch. I guess if you want to get married here, then you can. But that's not what its purpose is in this build, at least. But I love this arch because it has some like flowers and some fairy lights like coming up on the sides of it, which we all know that I'm a sucker for fairy lights, so I just really like it. And I don't know, I think it fitted very well in here. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think it fitted very well. There ends up being a small pool. It's literally like a small little rectangle. I think it's like a 3x3 rectangle, so not rectangle, square. But I think it still looks good. I think so. But yes, I put that there. And then by the pool, I put a pool floaty like in the pool, but then I also used the tool mod to rotate some pool floaties. I think it was one pool floaty actually, at the side of like the pool, so it looks like someone has kind of just thrown it there. Like it's not being used right now, it's kind of just thrown there. And I've done this a couple of times before, I think. I don't remember. I saw someone do it. I don't remember who. I'm so sorry, but I saw someone do it. So it's not my original idea, but I thought it was just so cute, so I've started to do it as well. And yeah, it's really cute. I don't know if that's just me, but I think it's really cute. And it's so realistic to me that like, I don't know, you won't always have it in the pool and kind of you just like throw it at the side. I don't know. But it's really easy to do if you have the tool mod. But yeah, I don't know if there was anything else for the exterior that I want to talk about. Not really. I don't know. The exterior isn't that exciting, I think. I really like it. Like, I think it looks really good, but I don't think there was anything else about the exterior that I wanted to talk about. But for the interior for this build, I decided to go for I don't want to say modern, but like a modern traditional interior, if that makes sense. Like this house has like a family from like, you know, this year living in here. I was thinking like it's not outdated. They have renovated the kitchen, the bathroom, stuff like that. They have somewhat modern furniture, but it's still really cozy. And yeah, I don't know. I really like it. I think this is what I talked about. I don't know. I think I talked about this recently in one of the builds. I don't remember what build it was, but like, again, it's not traditional, but it's not like ultra modern. It's just really cozy. So for the entryway, I just put a lot of different clutter items. I did merge we have like a coat hanger built in. It's not a built-in, but like it's a cabinet where you like it looks like you can put like your jackets and your shoes there and stuff like that. I don't know if that makes sense. But it's from the Cats and Dogs expansion pack, and then we also have a shelf that has like a bunch of different dog leashes, and I kind of merged those two in together to kind of make it look like they're one unit, which I really like. Again, I think it's just really realistic. Like at my parents' house, we have like two hooks that are literally just, well, we have several hooks actually that are just for the dog leashes because I live with 3 dogs. I was gonna say I live with 3 dogs. I live in my dorms right now, but like when I'm at my parents, they have 3 dogs living in that house. So there's going to be a lot of different dog leashes and stuff like that. So yeah, I just thought, I don't know, I really like using that object. It's very bulky though, so I tend to not use that shelf, but I think it works for this one. And then when I'm done with the front entryway, I move straight into the living room. And in the living room, I decided to go for these couches and chairs from the Cozy Kitsch kit, which I didn't realize how much I'd used that kit until recently. Like that kit is probably one of my favorites and most used because I don't know, just looks so good. And it's supposed to be kind of like retro-ish, but these couches, specifically in this kind of like beige swatch, they look so good. But they do have some like pillows already on them. So on one of the couches, because I do use like the same couch, the 3-seater couch, like next to each other. So on one of the couches, I do cover some of the pillows with other pillows that we have in the game to kind of just make it look like they're not just identical, you know? Like obviously you would have similar pillows in both couches, but I don't know, it just feels weird that they would be in the same exact place. If that, like, I don't know if that makes sense, but didn't want it to look like it just been copied over. So yeah, I just covered it up a little bit, and then in there it just ends up being a fireplace, a couple of bookshelves, some plants. I do put some like leaning artwork behind two of the armchairs. Two of them, they are two armchairs. So behind the armchairs, I put some leaning artwork from the Eco Lifestyle pack. And again, that's just kind of like a little nod to one of the parents being an artist. And maybe they just have like, either they have, those are paintings that they haven't yet put up in the house, or they're just paintings that like they didn't know where to store them, so they're just leaning there, they're just vibing, chilling. But before I move on and talk more about the build, I did want to mention, because now we're on the interior, you might see me do some weird things when it comes to me cluttering. So when I built this was when we had the weird glitch in the game where some of the objects for some of the packs, like specifically clutter objects from my everyday clutter kit, and then I think it was also like some clutter items from the just base game, they didn't show up in the regular menu. Like you had to search for the items to find them. So if you see me search for items and then kind of just go through that, that is why I'm doing that. Again, when I built this was a glitch that I don't remember why it was happening or anything. I thought it was my mods at first, but no, like this was a glitch that everyone who's playing The Sims experienced. So if you see that I'm just like, again, searching for items, that is why. It took me a while to realize that like it wasn't one of my mods, but then when I did, and someone, like I think I asked on Twitter, or if I saw someone post about it on Twitter, but I found out just like that is how you do it, if that makes sense. You just search for it. So if you see me do that, that's why. I thought I would mention it, so someone is just like, why are you searching for things? That is why. But in the living room, I also put some like magazines and stuff like that again kind of like reference the kids and the parents' hobbies. We have some magazines from a new kit. I don't remember exactly which kit it was. It's one of the kits that we got like 3 kits in January. We got the Cozy Gamer kit, the Secret Sanctuary, and the Refined Living Room. Was that them? I don't remember. We got like a bunch of different kits in January, and in one of those kits, there's a stack of magazines, and one of the swatches has like a football player, like a kid football player at the front. And again, I used that in the living room to kind of just like, again, give a nod to one of the kids being really into sports, and then also one of the parents being really active. And again, it's just small things like that throughout this entire house that I like make reference to, and I had so much fun with it because, again, to me, it's just really realistic. Like, they don't have like overly sporty things all over, but they do have, you know, just like some magazines and stuff like that, like just, again, some realistic things. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else about the living room. I don't think so. It's just kind of like a regular living room. Like there's nothing really special about it. And then the kitchen, I did a gray kitchen, which I feel like I almost never do. Like I don't know, I never make kitchens gray because I feel like they look kind of boring, but for this house it kind of fitted, and I don't know why, but it just did. And so the cabinets and counters that I use, I believe they're from the For Rent expansion pack. Weirdly, I don't know, maybe I don't know. For me, it's a weird thing that they have a gray swatch, because the gray swatch looks kind of modern, and that like those counters normally don't look modern. I don't know, maybe I'm just like looking too much into it, but yeah, the kitchen ends up being really gray. There's nothing really special about it. Like I just clutter it up. It has, you know, all the regular kitchen things. But yeah, I did do one thing in there though that I want to talk about, because I don't know if I've done it in a build that you guys have seen yet, but I've done it off camera a little bit. But my new favorite thing to do in a kitchen is put these posters and then frame them. So I don't know, that might sound a little bit weird, but basically we have these posters from, what's it called? The first kitchen stuff pack that we ever got. I think it's just called the Cool Kitchen stuff pack. That's what it's called. But we have these posters from that stuff pack, which I use in kitchens a lot, but I usually only use like 2 swatches, because the other swatches to me just look like they should be framed, so I didn't ever use them. But then I realized that this poster and then the painting that comes from base game where it has like some butterflies on it, that poster and that painting fit perfectly together, at least if you have the tool mod. So basically, if you have the tool mod, you just size down the poster a little bit, because the dimensions are the same, kind of. So you just size down the posters a little bit because the poster is a little bit too big, but like it's the same dimensions, if that makes any sense. Again, so you just size it down using the tool mod, and then again, using the tool mod, you kind of just pull it out from the wall a little bit so it looks like it's in the frame, and then you like adjust it with the tool mod, like the height and the size and stuff like that. Sometimes you want to be really specific with it, but then you can just put whatever swatch from that poster that you want, and it looks like you have a framed painting of some citrus fruits or like a coffee or whatever, because that poster has a lot of different, again, like food themed like artwork pieces, whatever. So yeah, I love that I do that now, because again, you guys haven't seen it. I don't remember if this is something that I saw someone else do or if I came up with it. I highly doubt that I came up with it. If someone knows who did this first, please let me know in the comments and I will be sure to credit them, but I don't know. But either way, I love that idea. And then also because that painting has a lot of different like swatches from the frame, you can make it work in any build. Like you can have a brown frame, you can have a white frame, black frame, gray frame, like literally whatever you want you can use, and it looks so good. And I'm so happy that I found that out, because now I don't know, it just works in kitchens, because a lot of time I struggle with finding artworks in kitchens, because like, what do you want in a kitchen? Like, I don't know, but I feel like having food themed artwork in a kitchen makes so much sense. So yeah, I don't know, I really like it. Again, you do have to have the tool mod to make it look right, because again, the size isn't completely right, but I think it still looks good. If you don't know how to use the tool mod, I do have a tutorial on it, so I will be sure to have that in the corner, but it's just kind of like a basic tutorial of how to use the tool mod. I use the tool mod in every single build that I ever do, because it's so helpful, it's so good. Twisted Mexi is a god. I use both the tool mod and the better build and buy mod. I do go over both of those mods in that video. But yeah, I love that mod so much. I do want to point out that you don't have to have that mod to download this build. Like, the good thing about this mod is that it isn't CC, so whatever I do with that mod in this, like in any build, when you download it, the build will look exactly like it does now, even if you don't have the mod. So the mod kind of transfers over, if that makes sense, and it is so good, it's so helpful. And I really like the fact that you, like, if you're playing on console and you can't have mods but want to download builds that look like this, where like you can, tweak sizes into the millimeter and rotate things, do all of that stuff, you're still able to like download them and it will look the same. And I love that. And Twisted Mexi is so good. I feel so bad for them though, because whenever there's an update for the game, obviously the mods break, which it happens, like, and that's just kind of what happens, but people are so mean to them, being like, hey, where are the tool mods? Like, you guys remember that this person has a life, right? Like, they can't just be doing it all the time. Plus, from what I understand, doing mods or like making mods and CC and stuff like that, it's a lot of effort. So can people just chill and be nice? I don't understand. To be fair, I've never understood people being mean on the internet, like, especially to people that are just working really hard and are trying their best, and then people are just being ungrateful and being like, hey, I want this now. And it's like, you realize that like it takes time and effort to do that. Like, I don't understand it. But yeah, basically, I love you, Twisted Mexi. Not that you will ever know my existence, but still love you. And Thank you for being a god in this game and making my building experience so much better. But anyways, moving on and talking more about the build again, because I went off a little bit of a rant, as I tend to do. After the kitchen, I do the dining room, and the dining room has 4 different arches. It's kind of like a meeting point, but I don't know why I love when dining rooms have that, because I feel like dining rooms are that like space where like you can just pass through, and it's kind of like a central point of the house. The same with like a kitchen is also like a central point of the house. So the dining room ends up being very simple. Like it just has like a table, some chairs, and that's about it. And then from the dining room you go into the sunroom, and I use this huge archway that looks like they have like glass doors that have been opened. I don't remember on the top of my head where that is from. I don't remember exactly. It's from a kit. That's how much I know. But it looks like you can close those doors if you want to, but I was thinking this family tend to have them open. But again, like I talked about before, the sunroom ends up being just like an office area. It has a computer, it has an art easel and some art things, and a little like a love seat, I think, so you can sit there and chill as well. And yeah, it's kind of just like an office space. And then after the office space, you will see me do a kind of like a weird little entrance hallway thing that leads to the backyard. You enter it through the dining room, and then you go into the backyard. And normally I tend to cut those things out, because I tend to cut hallways out as well as like some landscaping and stuff like that, just to cut down on time. This video is literally 56 minutes long, and so if I hadn't cut those things out, the video would be 2 hours, I swear. But I didn't cut out the like backyard entrance, because I did something that I love doing and that I've done a couple of times, but you guys haven't seen it, so this time I was like, I'm gonna show you it. For that space, I just put a shelving unit and just some other like, I don't know, just things like miscellaneous things, because again, you just kind of put things there when you go out and stuff like that. But the thing I did is that I used these little like mud paw prints that we got from the pets, what's it called, the cats and dogs expansion pack. I don't know why I just called it just pets, but the cats and dogs expansion pack has those little like mud paw prints. It's in the rug category, but they look so cute, and I put them by the door. So I was thinking that again, this family has I think a dog and a cat, at least from what I remember that my boyfriend told me that's the case. But yeah, I just thought it was so cute that like maybe the dog has been outside and then they come in and they just have left a little bit of mud prints. And to me, again, it's really realistic. Probably in real life you would wipe those up pretty quickly, but it's fine. This is The Sims, so you can just be there. And again, I think it's pretty realistic though. So I just really like the little detail. It's a small little detail, but I really, really love it. And then after that little hallway space, I do the garage, I think. And again, like I said before, the garage ends up having a little bit like a workout area. It has the treadmill, and I still don't know what to call it, because it looks like a cable machine kind of, but you can also do like leg races and stuff like that. I don't really know what to call it, because that machine in that way, I don't think at least exists in real life. It's kind of like in everything in one machine, but I put that in there. And then also just some storage and stuff like that to make it look like an actual garage. And then I move on upstairs to the parents' bedroom, and in the parents' bedroom it ends up being very simple. They do have an ensuite bathroom, but it ends up being just very simple in there. I use a bed from Growing Together, which if I would have built this now, I definitely would have used the bed from the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, but since I built this in January, we didn't have that expansion pack yet, so if you don't have that pack, you can definitely download this, because, again, I didn't use anything from that pack, but I really, really like that bed, and so if I would have done this now, I would have used that bed, but I didn't, so I use, again, a bed from Growing Together, and I just put, like, I don't know, it's just this parents' bedroom. Like, it doesn't have anything too exciting. It has a wardrobe, it has a TV, it has a chair, and that's about it. I do change the wardrobe off camera, I believe, though. I think I cut that out. And so I think what you will see is me using a wardrobe from high school years. I do change it into one from the child... What was it called? It's just child stuff, but I think it's just Child Stuff. No, that's not it. I don't remember what it's called. But you probably know which stuff pack I'm talking about. That stuff pack, I do change it from the high school years ones to that one, just because I felt like the high school years didn't really fit in, so I just changed it. And then I move on to the space room, or like the kids room, but I'm gonna call it the space room, which, like I mentioned before, it's my favorite room in this entire house. In there, I went all out space, and I had so much fun with it. I used a bed from the Parenthood expansion pack that has like a space swatch, so it matches perfectly. And I put a bunch of different posters throughout that entire room because we have a lot of different space posters, weirdly, from a bunch of different packs. So I just put like all of them throughout that room. And then at the on the side table for the bed, I put this lamp that is from the Cozy Gamer kit, and it looks like it's a UFO like abducting something that is in it. And there's a bunch of different swatches, and all the different swatches have like different things like it looks like it's taking up. The one I used just has some stars in it, so it's nothing like too fun, but there are some swatches where like it looks like it's a cow. I think there's one with a llama, there's one with the kind of like pop figurines that we have, and there's just a bunch of different ones, and I love it. It's so cute, and it fit the aesthetic so well. There was also some like other items from that Cozy Gamer kit that like worked perfectly, and like I said, when I built this, we had just gotten that kit, so I had so much fun just using it like all over. And then also in that room, I put obviously a wardrobe and a computer area, and at the computer area again I had just so much fun cluttering up with a bunch of different like space item thingies. On top of the bookshelves that is right next to the desk, I put one of these like school projects that you can do from Parenthood, and the one I used looks like you built like a solar system, so I was thinking that kid has probably made that for school and they saved it and just have it up there because they love space. And then also another thing with that room that I did, which I find really cute, is that I made kind of like a TV area, which I never do this, and I need to do this more. Actually, to be fair, in next week's video, at least I'm pretty sure what is going to be next week's video, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to post next week, so I did put out a like poll thing over on Twitter. So if you're watching this when this video comes out, you can go and vote in that if you want to, but the one that is currently winning does have a room with also like a little like a child's room with a little like TV area. So it's kind of funny that those two bills will probably come next to each other. But either way, I put this little like, again, just like computer, or not computer, but like TV area, and I used the little, at least from what I remember, I used the little like penguin TV. Never mind, I didn't. I thought I did. I didn't, and now I'm very sad. But I thought I used the penguin TV. I think it's because that's what I used. That's why I used that in next week's video, or at least what I think is going to be next week's video. But anyways, so I just put a TV there, and then I put this kind of like armchair in the middle of the room, like facing towards the TV, which to me looks like it's kind of like a beanbag-ish. It came from high school years, I believe, and again, it's so low and it looks so comfy to sit in. It's not actually a beanbag, but like it looks towards that, like, if that makes sense. It's like in that direction, and I just think it looks really cute, and I almost never use it, and so I had a lot of fun doing that little area. I know it's such a small little detail, but again, that entire room is probably my favorite just because I was able to clutter it up with so many things, and I had so much fun, and it reminded me of why I love making space rooms. And then after that, I do the toddler's bedroom, and like I said before, the toddler's really into dinosaurs, so I just put a bunch of different dinosaurs in there, and the room ends up being pretty yellow and orange. I do use some paintings that I've talked about this before, and I'm not going to go like too in depth of it, but basically I have walls up on my gallery that I posted years and years and years and years ago of paintings that your Sims actually paint in games. So like if you pick like paint a small abstract painting or paint a small child's painting or whatever the prompt is, those paintings are like what you do, and then I save those on some walls, uploaded them to my gallery, and so now I use them every now and again in builds, and I do use some of those paintings in the toddler's room, so you will see me pull out a wall for my saved rooms, and that is what that is. It's not CC, it's literally the paintings that you will do yourself in game, and I was thinking that maybe the parents that likes painting, maybe they've done that, for that kid, and they look really cute, and I don't know, I feel like we're lacking in like toddler / infant paintings. I don't know if that makes sense that they would have their own paintings, but in my mind it does. So I feel like we're lacking a little bit, and so I just use those in there. And the toddler also has somewhat of their own bathroom. There ends up being like a little room. It's so small. And the other kid's bedroom ends up having like the same sized room as well, and I made that room into a little like ensuite bathroom. It doesn't have a shower or anything like that. It just literally just has a toilet and a shower, or not a shower, a toilet and a sink. But the toddler obviously doesn't use that yet, so in there I just put the changing table, and so maybe as the toddler grows up, you can either remake that into a like walk-in closet, or you can make it into another bathroom if you want. It's up to you. I don't care, but I don't know, I think it looks really cute. I did this in a build a couple of months ago, and so yeah, I don't know, it makes sense to me that like they would have like their own little room for like changing table, because I don't know, it makes sense. And then after that I move on to the last room of the house, which ends up being the second kid's room, and so it's very sporty in there, but on the desk I did put some like artsy things, because again, that kid is not just into sports, they're also into art. So yeah, I don't know, I had a lot of fun with that. I used a painting above, it's not a painting, but it's an art object wall decoration thing above the bed that is from one of those new kits that we got. I believe that is from, I don't remember. It's one of those kits. It's the same kit that I was talking about before, I believe, at least. I don't remember what it's called. I really don't. But it has this kind of like framed jersey. Like, I don't know if it's football or basketball or whatever. I'm not a sports person at all. Never have been. Probably never will. I go to the gym. That's it. That's as far as active I am. I have never understood sports. But it's kind of this like sports jersey that is like framed. So we have a couple of different ones from previous packs, but that one looks a little bit more like fancy because it has some like lights around it and everything. So I use that in there, and then I just use some other like sports items that we have throughout the game, throughout the packs. So yeah, I don't think there was anything else I wanted to mention about the build itself. I am going to move on to rambles, but I don't think there was anything else. As always, if you have any questions, just let me know, and if you want to download this, the tray files will be linked down below. If I have not put them there yet, just comment, like leave a comment being like, hey, can you upload the files, and I will do it as soon as I can. So there's that, and then also my gallery ID is a simsas04. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about when it came to the build. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know. Moving on into rambles. I don't actually know what to talk about this week. I don't know. I know I had some things last week that I was going to talk about, but then I didn't because the video ended up being relatively short, so maybe I'll talk about that. I don't know. How are you guys? I hope you're well. Have you guys also had like Easter break this week? Because I had Easter break. I know some people call it spring break, but we call it Easter break here. But yeah, I had mine this week, which was nice, although I've been really busy still. Like, I thought that this week was going to be really chill. Turns out it was not, mostly because I've been with my family a lot because my grandma is visiting, and then also, again, it's Easter, so I've just been, chilling with them, and then also I did work yesterday, which I haven't worked, I think, since November, because they haven't needed me, but now the season is coming, they need me more, because, if you didn't know, like, where I work, it's a touristy area, and so when there are holidays, and, like, specifically summer, it just ends up being a lot of work, so they need me to come in and help them. So I worked yesterday, it was still really nice. Like, I I love my work, so I had so much fun with that. But yeah, it was a little bit weird being back, but it was good. It felt like the time was dragging a little bit because I don't know, that's just how work is, I guess, but I still love my work, so I'm not gonna complain. But other than that, I've literally just been like chilling with family all week. I got a new bed at my parents' house because I got a bigger bed. And that was really fun, but it was a nightmare to get up because my room is on the second floor and this bed was too big to get through the stairs. So we had to open my balcony door and like get it through that. And it took a lot of work, but we got there in the end and I'm so happy. Now I can sleep in my bed with the pets because anytime I come home to visit now, like obviously again, I live on campus at my college, but my college is 30 minutes away from my parents' house, so like it's not that far. So I can be there whenever I want, basically. But my computer is at college, so I'm gonna be with it most of the time because my computer is my life. That sounds really sad, but it's true. I think a lot of gamers can, relate to that. But anyways, like anytime I go and visit, I end up having 3 animals sleeping with me all night, or like 2, but then 1 comes and goes. And so it's a lot nicer to have a bigger bed because now they can fit. But yeah, it was a little bit of a nightmare to get up, and we accidentally dropped the bed on my arm, so my arm hurts because it was a really heavy bed. But it was worth it. It was very much so worth it. So yeah, that's basically been my week. I have just, again, been chilling with my family, eating Easter food. Do you guys celebrate Easter? My family, I've talked about before, we're not religious at all. So we don't celebrate Easter or Christmas or anything like that because of that. We mostly just celebrate it because, like, I don't know, tradition, I guess. But we've eaten a lot of good Easter food, which I love Easter food. Swedish Easter food, I feel like is very different to other Easter foods. I don't know. We eat a lot of fish. We eat fish and eggs, and that's about it. It's really weird. We eat the same things on all holidays. We have like 3 holidays that we celebrate in Sweden. Well, at least from what my family does and kind of like from what I gather. We have Christmas, obviously. We have Easter, and then we have Midsummer. Midsummer is not like the movie, guys. Anytime I mention Midsummer, my friends are like, oh my god, like the movie? No. It's very different. But, it's not that different. I haven't seen the movie, but it's not a cult, and we do not do weird things like that. We don't do cult activities, if that makes sense. Although we do dance around a pole, like frogs. So maybe that's a little bit cultish. I don't know. I haven't done that since I was a kid, but I did do it as a kid. Yeah, describing Midsummer does sound like a cult, huh? It's not, I promise. But anyways, on all those 3, like, holidays, we eat the same thing. At least in my family, we basically eat the same thing. It's fish, it's eggs, it's some type of, like, meat. It's usually, like, some type of sausage, and then ham or lamb. That really rhymes. And that's about it, basically. And then you just drink. And that's about it. But yeah, so I've just been, like, celebrating Easter with my family, but not really celebrating, just eating good food. It's just an excuse to eat food, which is basically what my family does anyways. But yeah, that's basically been this week. Last week, like I mentioned in, like, the end of last week's voiceover, I had a really busy week because my birthday was last week, so I am now officially old. No, I'm not old. I'm 21. I'm not old at all. I don't know why I've said I'm old. My friends are calling me old. They're the same age as me, or younger, or younger? No, or older. Well, some of them are younger, but, like, most of my friends are older than me. So I don't know why they're calling me old. I don't know why. But anyways, I'm 21 now. And so I had my birthday. I didn't really do anything. I went out to dinner with my family, and that was about it. But because it was a Thursday, I had college. But on the Friday, I had a party kind of with my friends. It was a party, but it wasn't like a birthday party. It was more so like an excuse to hang out and be adults, if you know what I mean. But we had a lot of fun. I ended up being very gone, if that makes sense. So it was a fun end to that week. But it was really fun, and it just made me realize how much I appreciate my friends, because it was so fun. And then I also just the rest of the week I was just chilling with my other friends, because I was like, this is my birthday week. I normally don't celebrate my birthday that much, but I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do. So I was just chilling with my boyfriend and my friends, playing games with them, and then I went out with my college friends, and yeah, it was a great week. Do you guys celebrate your birthdays, and like do you guys do the whole birthday week? I know some people do like birthday week and it's like a whole thing. I don't. Again, this time I felt like I did it more than any other time before. My family were not really like birthday celebration thingy. Like we will have dinner, and that's about it. But yeah, do you guys like do the whole like birthday week thingy? For me, it sounds really weird. I just think of Trina from Victoria's when I hear that. It also just makes me feel like it's very American. Maybe it's not, but for me, having like a whole birthday week thing is very American. So, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what else to talk about now. That was basically it. I haven't been doing a lot of other things. I've just been chilling, vibing, playing Sims, editing, hanging out with my boyfriend, hanging out with my friends, and that's about it. I don't know. Oh, I started rewatching Bones again, because I finished Shameless. I finished rewatching Shameless. Still love it so much. But then I was like, I need to rewatch Bones, because I have not watched Bones in forever. And Bones is like my favorite. It's like my third favorite TV show of all time, I believe. Yes, it goes it goes Sherlock Holmes, the BBC one with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. It goes that one, and then Criminal Minds, and then Bones, I believe. So I'm rewatching it, and I am loving it. I'm on the second season, and I love it as much as I ever have. Like I started watching Bones right about when it ended, so in 2016. It ended in 2017, so I believe I started watching in 2016. So I watched it for almost a decade. Jesus, I feel old. I'm 21. I'm not even that old. Jesus Christ. But anyways, yes, I've been watching Bones for forever, and so I love it. It's so good. It's so fun. It's such a comfort show. And yeah, I just like having it on, because it's also one of those shows that I can just have on in the background while I'm playing Sims, which is always great. Like, I love when that happens. But yeah, have you guys watched Bones? Or like, what are your guys' favorite TV shows? Because I always am down for recommendations. I love TV shows. I love, especially when they have like several seasons, like more than 5 seasons, and I will watch it. Less, I don't know, maybe. But let me know, literally any TV show, and I will see if I want to watch it or if I have watched it. I have not watched Game of Thrones. I'm not watching Game of Thrones. That is just not my thing. If they're more like criminology or like hospital set shows, I will love it. So please let me know if you do have any recommendations. But yeah, anyways, that's basically it for this video, and I really hope you liked it. And again, thank my boyfriend for the family for this house. But anyways, don't forget to like, share, comment, and of course subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!